Hi there, my beautiful YouTube friends. My name is Sunita. Welcome to Sunita Makes Crochet Items. And today, on episode 48 of What's on the Hook, I'm going to attempt to master my pumpkin pouch pattern. I don't know. I wrote it down, but I just want to make sure that it actually works. So what I'm going to do is a little bit different. It's not going to be a tutorial, but it's going to be me talking to myself, talking to you on how to do the project. With that being said, let me tell you what I'm going to be using to make this pumpkin pouch. We're going to go ahead and use I Love This Yarn from Hobby Lobby. It's $2.49 regular price, but go get it when it's 30% off. It is a light 3-weight, 2.5 ounces, 71 grams, 230 yards. You'll probably be able to make I don't know, let's guess, probably 5 or 6 out of one skein, and 210 meters. Recommended hook size is at 5mm, but I've done these so many times that a 3.5 works best, and I'm going to be using my dots. You'll also need an offsetting color for the stem, which will be, I'm going to use, again, I Love This Yarn. Actually, this is super soft, super saving sport weight, the 3, but you can use whatever size yarn. And hook, I recommend going down a couple of sizes from the recommended hook size. So I got orange and green. Got my coffee, which better have my coffee. Let's get started. We'll start off with a magic circle. I'm going to use my double magic circle, but you do whatever you want. And in that magic circle, oh, and also get a stitch marker. Start off with 8 single crochets in the magic circle. Go 8 and close it. So now that it's closed with 8 single crochets, it should look like this. And I move my stitch marker up to the next stitch. Now row 2, you're going to do an increase, which is basically 2 single crochets in each stitch. At the end of this row, you should have 16. So I'm just carrying my tail around and around until I'm all done. So there you have it, row 2, 16 single crochet. Alright, so row 3 is gonna get a little bit tricky. Now, if you don't know, one of my favorite stitches is extended single crochets, and that's what we're gonna play with. So row 3, you're gonna do 1 extended single in the first stitch, 2 extended singles in the next stitch. And at this point, row 3 was still going on the top stitch. So let's do that. At the end of this row, you'll have 24 stitches, if I'm doing my math right. 3 times 8 is 24. Alright, so I moved my stitch marker, and this is pretty much the last time I'm going to move this stitch marker, because that'll mark my beginning of each row, and I'll just keep going from there. So the first stitch is an extended single, and to do an extended single, you go in the loop, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 1 loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. So that's 1. Do that again in the next stitch, times 2. Go in, pull up, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2. One more time. And what I like to do is just count 1, 2, 3. The next one, 1, 2, and 3. 1, 2, and 3. And repeat that until you get to the end. And I'm still carrying the tail. Round 4 in all the rows until you get to your, I believe it's 48 stitches. We're gonna pretty much repeat the whole thing. Now, the first thing you need to know is an extended single. The first one is always going to be worked in the previous extended single, and that's a little bit tricky. I know that's one of my stitches that I use for the Burst of Kindness beanie. So let me try to show you here. Do you see the legs right there of that extended single? Right in between there's a little V, and then there's a really tiny single crochet on top. You're gonna go in between that for the first stitch, and I'm gonna keep carrying this tail until it's all gone. So extended single in the extended single of the previous row, and then right next to it on top you're gonna go ahead and add one more. This is considered an increase. If I can get my hook to cooperate. So that's 2 stitches so far. Now, where you increase in the next stitch, you're basically just gonna do a front post extended in each of those 2. So we're on row 4 currently, and at the end of this row you should have 32 stitches. So here is what it looks like so far. So there's the first stitch, 1 extended in the extended, and then 1 right next to it, and then 2 front post extended singles. Is your set of rows that you're going to repeat until you get back to the stitch marker. So extended in the extended, extended on top. Make sure you carry your tail if you don't want to sew, which I don't, because I don't like sewing. And then front post extended, it's because I'm recording, this does not want to work. And then another front post extended, one inside, one on top. One around, and another one around. Just repeat that until you get to the end. This is what it should look like. It's gonna start to do the little ridges of each section of the pumpkin. And so the next stitch, you're basically gonna repeat that row, but instead of having 2 front posts, you're gonna have 3. Now, just be careful, because where you added the increase in the previous row, it's kind of hiding, so just make sure you get that one, a front post. And so same thing, you're gonna extend single crochet in the first extended single crochet, and then you're going to increase by just going on top, and then you're going to do 3 front post extended singles. 1, 2, and 3. And that's how I know what row I'm on, because depending on the number of stitches per section, and you should have 8 sections altogether, so 8 times 5 is 40. So at the end of row 5 you should have 40 stitches. And I'm just gonna keep going, extend it and extend it, 1 on top. Like, see this one that's hiding there? Make sure you get a front post in that little tiny extended, and then 1 on next. I finished row 5 and I have 40 stitches. Look at how cute that thing is. Anyway, as you notice, I have not moved my stitch marker, so we're gonna do 1 more increase row, which is basically the same thing. Extend it in the extended, extend it on top of the next stitch, and then you'll do 4 front post extended singles. At that point you'll have 6 stitches per section and 8 sections, so 6 times 4 is 48. Extended in extended, 1 on top, 4 rounds, 2, 3, and 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Keep going until you get to the stitch marker. Alright, so at the end of row 6, you have 48 stitches. Look at how big that is. And this is the perfect size for me. But if you wish to continue to make it a bigger increase, go for it. If you need help with the math, let me know. The most I've ever did was 8 rows, up to 64 stitches. But I'm liking the size of this, which is about the size of my palm. And so for rows 7 through 9, so 3 rows, you are going to do the following, which is basic extended single in the extended single, the next 2. So 1 more, 2, and then 4 front post extended singles. And 4. Okay, so repeat that last row 2 more times. So remember, extend it and extend it for the next 2 stitches, and then 4 front post extended singles in the next 4 stitches, obviously. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Just keep counting to 6. We are row 8, so we gotta do this 1 more time. Halfway there. Keep going. on the final row of repeats. I'm gonna move my stitch marker up, and this will be the last row. What you're gonna do an extended single in the extended single of the next 2 stitches, front post extended singles in the next 4 stitches. And it should start cupping, as you can see. Okay, so we made it to row 10, and now it should look like a little bow. And so for row 10, what you're going to do is a decrease, which is basically an extended, well, start like you're going to do an extended in the next 2 stitches, but you should have 3 loops on your stitch and just pull through 1. You're going to do a front post, single, and then the next 2 front posts, you're going to do 1 single between the 2. And then 1 single on the next post. And just repeat that. Made it to the end of row 10. And you should have 32 stitches. Okay, I'm going to move my stitch marker up. So now what you're going to do is basically just go around one more time. So see how it kind of cinched it up? And you're going to go ahead and do a single crochet in each stitch. 1, 2, 3, 10, 30, 31, and 32. But here you're not going to finish it off because you're going to switch your color. 11 with the orange or whatever the base color was. And now we're going to switch to the stem part, which is just attach it to the last, we'll pull through the last 2 stitches that you stopped at. Because remember, you didn't finish yarning over. And now what you're going to do is basically do another row of single crochets. So you should still have 32. With whatever your color base is. And I'm just going to carry the yarn, and I'm going to remove my stitch marker too. So I made it all the way around 32 stitches, and then I just slip stitched to the first, just so that it can make it look a little bit cleaner. Now the next steps is basically making an eyelet for your drawstring, which I chain 3, and then that's considered 1. I skip a stitch and then do another do a double crochet in the next stitch, chain 1, and repeat. Skip 1, double, chain 1, skip. The first chain 3 you did, so you should have 1, 17, 18 double crochets. This row you're just basically going to do a single crochet in each stitch to clean up the edge a little bit. So chain 1, single in each, well, you can do 2 singles in each of the chain 1 spots. I did count it. I did have 18 double crochets, but as I was single crocheting each of the single crochets, I ended up with 34. So I don't know, the math somewhere was not right. But anyway, this is what it should look like. This is your pumpkin. And so now we are going to work on this drawstring part of it. And the drawstring part of it is basically, you gotta make 2. And I'm just gonna show you how to do 1. And then I'll work the other one off the camera. So in your green, or whatever color you want, you are going to go ahead and do a magic circle and chain 2. And I'm going to do 2 double crochets in the magic circle, and then a triple, a picot, 2 double crochets, a chain 2. After your chain 2, you're going to single crochet back into the loop, and then you're going to repeat 2 chains, 2 doubles, one triple, a picot on top of the triple, two doubles, chain 2, and then single and back into the loop, and do one more time. Chain 2, 2 doubles, a triple, a picot, two doubles, chain 2, and single. Now you're gonna close up your hole. I did a double magic loop. Once it's cinched up, it should look like this. And basically, after you cinch it up, I'm gonna leave this tail so I can use it to sew later. Now you're gonna chain 75. Fast enough. And do it again one more time. Now I have 2 leaves with a chain of 75. I'm going to go ahead and take one, feed it through. Now how you feed it through is basically you're going to find where you started with the chain 2, fold it in half. And where's my darning needle? Take one of the tails, feed it through. And you got it folded here. I'm gonna start in the inside outside, inside, and just zigzag through until you get back out the hole that you were started in. And you should come right back out of that hole and take it out and just leave it hanging for right now. Now you're going to go on the other side and do the same thing, but since you went through this hole, go on the inside. So on the other side of where both thread through, basically you're going to take the two ends or the tails and tie them together. And then what you're going to do is basically like even it out. So I just do it a knot, nothing fancy. And then I'm gonna sew the tails into the leaf to kind of clean it up a little bit. There we go. So just make sure it stretches enough that once you pull the drawstring, it will go in. But in the meantime, let me sew this up. And you can cinch it to make it the whole of the leaf tighter too if you need to. Just go back and forth to hide it, and then I put another knot in there. You don't have to. You close it however you need to. You don't necessarily have to do the leaves on yours if you don't want to. If you want to add beads or whatever the case may be, you can do that too. Just chain 75 or whatever number you want. And as I sew this one in, I will go ahead and show you the end result. So this was doable in one sitting. I did kind of ignore my coffee though, so it's probably cold. Okay, so then you're just gonna even them out a little bit. You might have to finagle this so that it's even. Same thing on this side, and then oh, voila, it's done. There you go. So you just use this for, I'm thinking like a trick-or-treat bag, but you don't necessarily have to. It's cute all by itself. Put little trinkets in there, and I think the little leaves added a little flair. What do you think? So episode 48 is pumpkin season, and I made this one last night. This is with a one weight, and I used the colors pink and white, and then I did do the beads. I'm not great at it, but I did the beads. So there you have it. And I'm all done. Little pumpkin pouches. And you put your own surprises inside. I hope you liked it. So be good to yourself. Bye. Thank you for watching. Remember, love yourself so you can love everyone else. Take care.